50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Welcome in, everyone, to a brand new edition of The Dream Wager, presented by Viva Tequila Seltzer. Today is Monday, February 3rd, 2025. A little snow we got there yesterday, kid. How we feeling on a Monday?
Yeah, about nothing too crazy, but we did get some snow on the ground this morning. Had to deal with it, but it's 2 o'clock.
It's melted
now,
already,
and it's already gone. So nothing too worried about. Maybe a little bit for this weekend for the Super Bowl, but nothing too crazy. Hopefully, nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy, not like this weekend. We'll talk about that in just a little, but got a shorter episode for you guys today. It's Super Bowl weekend. We'll preview it. We got CT coming on during the middle of the week. We'll get his plays. Legend, friend of the show, CT Betts coming on. We'll have his picks and props. I've already put in about 4 or 5. I keep texting you when I keep putting more in. So I got about 4 or 5. We'll have much more come Sunday. I'll say this, kid, though. I've been keeping an eye on the line. Money's coming in on the Eagles, and I expect more money to come on the Eagles. I don't know if it will flip, but opened up minus 130. Chiefs down to minus 120 on the money line. So money is coming in on the Eagles there. Total has stayed the same. But we got major news we'll talk about in the NBA. Some NFL news as well we'll talk about. And we'll have some picks for the association. And I got 3 college plays towards the back half of the show. But we were talking about something crazy. I mean, I called you in the middle of the night. I was like, I know he's sleeping, but I got to let you know. I mean, I was ready to go to sleep. I remember about to go to sleep, and then I had to stay up for another hour because my heart was just beating. I had adrenaline out. I was like, nah, this can't be real. Shams even reiterated. He goes, no, this is real. I didn't get hacked. Luka Doncic is traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and 2029 first-round pick. Love how the Jazz were involved, too. They got Jalen Hood, Shafino, and a 2025 Clipper second-round pick and a second-round pick from the Mavs as well. Imagine being on that conference call and being like, leaving it on mute and being like, yo, they really about to trade AD.
Yeah.
And the Mavericks, they wind up getting Anthony Davis, Max Kleber. Lakers wind up getting Luka, Max Kleber, and Markieff Morris. But I mean, this was insane. I don't think there's been in my lifetime. I don't think this big of a trade has happened in the NBA. I don't know about other sports, maybe not NFL, but baseball, hockey. Like this was absolutely insane, kid. First, just initial reaction when you woke up on the trade.
Initial reaction, I didn't believe it. Because you understand, I had a missed call from you. I had multiple missed calls. I definitely had multiple missed calls. I woke up half asleep, went to take a piss around like 3, 4 a.m. And I was like, this is not real. But what made me honestly believe it was the amount of missed calls that I had.
Yeah.
So I was like, this might be for real. So I had to double, triple check. And I was just surprised. Initial thought was complete and utter surprise, just because we didn't hear no type of rumors or anything that Luka was potential going to be on the market. We've been hearing Jimmy Butler, we've been hearing De'Aaron Fox, but we haven't heard Luka Doncic. So that's the shocking part. One, that the Mavs was willing to move him.
They shopped him.
Yeah. This is the Mavs orchestrated this deal. So biggest surprise, one, that it is real.
Yeah.
That it's true. And then second biggest takeaway is the fact that the Mavericks issued this deal. It's not like teams was calling up the Mavericks, hey, is Luka available for this, and that? No. The Mavericks called the Lakers, said, do you guys want Luka?
And that's the thing, E. If you put him on the market, phone would be blowing up. Mikal Bridges, the Knicks gave 5 first-rounders, and Mikal Bridges didn't even make one All-Star game. This guy has more All-Pros than Steph Curry. Like, this is a generational, international, global superstar. They just went to the finals. I don't care if he's out of shape. I don't care if he's a defensive liability. You don't trade him for pennies on the dollar. Why didn't they orchestrate or say to the league or say around, I guess, executives, why didn't Nico Harrison be like, he's up for trade? Why did they only go to the Lakers?
I'm going to give you my theory.
Yeah, please.
My theory, this is what I honestly truly believe what went down. The GM probably sat either by himself or with somebody to make this decision. And while making that decision, he said to himself, what gives us the best opportunity to win a championship this year, maybe next year, this next 2 seasons?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Luka Doncic again? After what we saw in the finals, what we kept seeing, especially first half in
defensive liability.
What we kept seeing when the game was nip and tuck, they'll switch.
Yep.
And Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum will switch, get Luka Doncic, and they'll drive to the basket. We saw it consistently happen in the finals. Luka was a defensive liability. Now, this like I said, this is not. I'm not saying this is what I think. This is what I believe. I believe that the front office said, if Luka wasn't the defensive liability and we had one of the best defensive players in the lineup, do we possibly win that championship? I'm not sure if there's a different answer. I'm just letting you know what I think, what the front office was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's not like he shopped them. It's not like he spread the word. I honestly think the GM wanted Anthony Davis. That was the only player possibly in the whole league that he wanted to trade Luka for. That's the only thing I could think about, Dill. You trading away a generational talent. Say what you want about Anthony Davis. He is a generational talent. Anthony Davis, first of all, for all the people out there in the media acting like this is a bad trade, Anthony Davis any given night could be the best player in the NBA. He just doesn't play at a consistent level to be considered the best player in the NBA. But any given night, Anthony Davis could give you 40 and 20. Don't get it twisted. Anthony Davis could give you 40 and 20, shooting 85, 90% from the free throw line. Don't get it twisted. So that's what I think, though, that the front office sat back and was like, with Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Lively or Gafford at the 5, because Anthony Davis doesn't want to play the 5. Does that lineup gives us a better opportunity to win a championship now than what Luka does? And I think the front office said yes. Do me and you possibly think different? Maybe. But we can't deny that Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, Gafford, or Lively as a starting 5, they do have the lineup and the experience to compete for a title. Not just this year, but maybe next year as well. I'm not sure if you have that same, let's just say, attitude with Luka Doncic after even going after a finals run last season.
Yeah, I mean, down low, they are absolutely huge. They're going to be really good defense.
They might be the biggest team in the league. PJ, Anthony Davis, Gafford, Lively.
Yeah. No, defensively, they're good. I just don't know where you're going to get 40 a night, 30 a night from.
Maybe that's the thing, Dill. Anthony Davis could give you the same point output that Luka was giving you.
But to play devil's advocate, LeBron has been wanting AD to take over a bigger role for the past few years now, and he hasn't been able to do that. Can he do that now?
Has LeBron stepped back to a smaller role?
He can't because of AD not stepping up.
But that's the thing. Now, there's no if, no ands, no buts. Anthony Davis is the best player on the team. Don't get me wrong, Kyrie's special.
Yeah.
Kyrie's a special talent. But Kyrie's not Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis could go out there, dominate, give you 40 and 20 a night. Kyrie sprinkle his 20 something. Klay Thompson give you some magic. PJ Washington, some guys off the bench give you some magic. This team is ready to win right now. I understand a lot of fans and most of the media is dragging it. But let's not act like Anthony Davis is not a generational talent.
He's a
Let's
top
not,
15 player in the league, but he's not a top 3 player like Luka is.
Luka's
There's
not
a
a top 3
difference.
player.
Who, Luka?
Luka's not a top 3 player.
Well, okay, maybe not this year. He's missed 27 games, but when he's on, he's a top 3, top 5 player in the league.
And when Anthony Davis is on, he's a top 3, top 5 player.
I wouldn't agree with that.
Still, so when Anthony Davis went on that stretch last year, gave you, I think, 8 straight games with 40 plus points and 15 plus rebounds. He wasn't the best player in the NBA for about a month?
No, because I think you ask anyone around the league, they would still take Jokic, Giannis, Luka over him.
I'm not asking take. All I'm saying is for a period of time, he was the best player in the NBA.
But the Mavs need it for longer than just a month, 2 months out of the league.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
They need it for 2 months in the playoffs.
That's if they get that far. That's if they could do it.
You think the Mavs ain't a playoff?
I think we'll see. We'll see.
Wait. You the way the Mavs are constructed right now, you have any doubt they won't make the playoffs?
No, they'll probably make the playoffs. I just don't know if they're going to be catching fire or they're going to do what they did last year because they don't get to the finals without Luka.
Let me ask you a question. In the playoffs, who do you have a better opportunity winning a title if Luka averages 30 and 15 or Anthony Davis averages 30 and 15?
With the same team?
They'll think about it.
With the same team? I don't know.
They give you the same. What you mean you don't know?
I probably would take Luka.
He's a defensive liability.
But he's still giving you 30, 40 a night. Dude, I don't think AD's gonna do that.
Did you just not listen to anything I just said?
But he didn't do that in the playoffs. He did it for a month or two, you said, in the regular season. I need that in the playoffs.
I'm going to ask you the same question again. Hopefully this time you listen. Listen. Come playoff time, Luka gives you 30 and 15. Anthony Davis gives you 30 and 15. They both averaging the same thing. Who gives you the better opportunity to win a title?
I'm gonna take Luka.
Why?
Luka because I think he's a better player, and I think he makes other people around him better.
Okay, they both give you 30 and 15.
Yeah,
they both give you the 30 points, 15 rebounds, or 15 assists.
Yeah.
Who's the defensive liability? Luka Doncic or Anthony Davis?
Luka. It doesn't matter though. I still would take Luka. Just because you can make the same argument about a lot of stars in the league that they're a defensive liability. That doesn't mean they don't play good help defense. Steph is not a good defender, but he plays a good enough defense where his team around him could step up. Kyrie doesn't play good defense, but the people around him play good defense that help him. They have enough guys around him that it wasn't just on Luka. I think a lot of maturing. He barked at the refs a lot. I think you could blame a lot of things on the finals. Him being 270 pounds. It wasn't just his defensive liability.
But the difference is between these two players. You said it. This is your words, not mine. Luka was a defensive liability. We know Anthony Davis is one of the best defensive players in all NBA.
The also difference is Luka's 25 and AD's 31. I'm taking the guy who's 25 years old and who has made 5 All-NBA teams. AD hasn't done that. Yeah, I'm taking Luka. I just think it's crazy. And also I think another crazy part is how they were able to keep it hush-hush. Like, because apparently Shams said they approached Rob Pelinka. And it is important to note, Nico Harrison, the GM for Dallas, he is good friends with Rob Pelinka. And a lot of people barked and harped on him for saying, getting Kyrie, that's not going to work with Luka. They were wrong. It winded up working. He's phenomenal. He playing with him, or was now. So we'll see. He said, this could be the biggest city in the world, or we could look back and it could be the biggest trade in history. So only time will tell. It was crazy. I don't know if you saw, but Jason Kidd was just like, he didn't know anything at the press conference.
He looked stunned. I would
He
say
looked
that,
stunned, and then they blew the game yesterday. They didn't. They sat everyone. Did you see that? None of the starters played.
Yeah, lost by 40. They were down 40 at halftime.
I think they were protesting. I think they were protesting.
But at the end of the day,
so you would say this is a good trade for the Mavericks?
I'm gonna say this ain't as bad as a trade as the media and 90% of people are making it out to be.
What would you grade it, A to F? I would give it a D. I know you probably wouldn't, but
let me ask you a question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Are the Mavs right now without Luka Doncic, are they still a top 10 offense?
Top 10? No, no, I wouldn't say that.
Were they a top 10 offense with Luka?
I mean, it's hard to say. He was hurt most of the season. He's still hurt. They're the 9th seed. They're 26 and 24.
Okay,
they're really not that good this year.
Exactly.
We'll see.
Exactly. Now you're going to bring in Anthony Davis, who's a defensive specialist, and is going to give you the same output offensively that Luka was giving you, points-wise.
Debatable.
You still got Kyrie and company to handle the ball, Dill.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a C+. I'm going to give it a B-, because I at least see the vision. I might not agree with it. Like I said, what I would have made the deal, I'm not sure. I at least see the vision. Because you got Kyrie Irving. You have Kyrie. Special. Got Clay. Like I said, the lineup that's constructed right now, if healthy, I give him a shot to compete for a title. But with Luka, if healthy, I'll give him a shot to compete with a title as well. But they're much better defensively, and offensively, I don't think it's going to be a major drop-off.
What would you give the Lakers? I give them an A. I mean,
I wouldn't give them an A. I don't think now they're gonna have a hole. Yeah, Luka.
What? The center? Their reports are Shams just tweeted about 20 minutes ago. Yeah, they're gonna get Mitchell Robinson or Valanciunas. They're gonna get a center. They're gonna be active.
But these are reports. I'm talking about right now. The way they're constructed, the Mavs are looking like the better team.
Oh, I wouldn't agree with that.
Today.
Yeah, today. Look who's playing better. They won. They're 8 and 10 in their last 2. The Lakers are a 5 seed in the West.
Yeah, we gotta let these teams settle in.
But you're saying right now the Lakers are playing really well.
Yeah,
and I think it takes a lot of strain off of LeBron. LeBron doesn't have to do as much. He doesn't have to play the point guard. They got Luka without only giving up 1 pick and keeping Austin Reeves. Now I think Austin Reeves is going to take a step back because he's the type of guy that needs the ball in his hands. But man, I think this prolongs LeBron's career as well. We were sitting here in the offseason talking about how many years does LeBron have, a year, maybe 2. I think this could prolong LeBron's career another 3 years. He could play a little longer now. And they didn't have to give up Bronny. That's the biggest thing. But I think this is great for LeBron. He always wanted to play with Luka. There's reports that he was trying to get him to the Jordan brand. To the Nike brand, excuse me. He ended up going to Jordan, Luka. So he always wanted to play. And I hate a lot of people, or I hear Laker fans online saying, we gave up AD. I can't believe it. I mean, there are reports now. Rob Pelinka wasn't going to offer him the max in the offseason. That's 1. And 2, like I said, they were getting Luka Doncic. They're not going to say no. That's insane if you say no to that. So I think the Lakers hit a home run, and you go from another star, from Kobe to LeBron, and now who's going to take over? I will say the GM did fuck him on $100 million plus. He's not going to get the super max anymore, but they're going to give him the max, and we'll see. I think my conspiracy thing, another one, Luka Doncic was only 300 points shy from Michael Finley's 12,389 franchise points of the Mavs. Finley is an assistant GM to the Mavs. Yeah. So he kind of just dealt it before he broke his record. But yeah, thoughts on what I just said real quick for the Lakers moving forward.
Does it prolong LeBron's career? I agree with that. It definitely benefits LeBron. If it's gonna benefit anybody the most, it's gonna be LeBron.
Do you think he knew about it? Because they said he didn't. I don't know if I agree with that.
I would say no.
Mm.
This is the only reason why.
Yeah.
I don't think the Mavs wanted this to come out
No.
unless the trade got done.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this was happened really hush hush and behind the scenes. Hey, maybe this was in the works for a couple weeks now. We don't know. We have no idea. But I'm just shocked by it all. I'm just trying to see the vision from both sides.
Now, we'll find out more T in the coming weeks or months. Last question on this. What do you think happened? Because do you think he didn't request a trade? Do you think it's what you said? They sat down in a room and said, you know what, our best chance is with Anthony Davis and not with Luka, even though we just got to the finals? Or do you think there was some tension? What do you think there is? Because it's insane to me, I feel like.
I'm gonna say a little bit to do with that, but also maybe it's a little bit frustration, maybe like some of like the Zion thing. I know the Mavericks came out reporting saying they're not happy with Luka Doncic's weight. He's reached I'm not sure if he's currently that right now.
I think it's 270, right?
Yeah, he was 275 at one point. Like,
they're shaming fat people though.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we know Luka Doncic likes to have a beer occasionally after a game or two. He'll go party. So does Luka has the Mamba mentality? Absolutely not. Does he spend $1 million or $2 million a year on his body like these other superstars do, like Derrick Henry, LeBron James, etc.? No, he do not. But when he's on the court, does he play with all his heart? Absolutely. Is he at the best peak condition he could possibly be? Probably not, Dale. So maybe that frustration grew as well. We heard reports saying they weren't going to go out and give him the supermax.
Yeah, I heard that too, which is crazy to me.
That's crazy to me too.
Yeah.
That you're not willing to give Luka Doncic the supermax just because you're not satisfied or unhappy with his off the court habits. So yeah, that question that leaves me with a question mark. But at the end of the day, you gotta trust these people. They're in these positions for a reason. Like you said, he might look like a complete idiot 3 years from now. But if the Dallas Mavericks go out there and win a championship, it's gonna be all worth it.
The next 5 years, who wins a championship first, the Lakers or the Mavs? Who do you give the better chance to?
I'm gonna say 3 years, not 5. Dallas Mavericks.
They already made it last year. Yeah.
In my opinion, right now, the way both teams construct, I agree, Dylan. Lakers are playing great. They beat your Knicks. They were down. We don't got it. I know, but they're an 8.5-point dog. No Anthony Davis.
Outright. LeBron at the Mecca.
Give 30-point triple double at 41 years old.
Bronny was out there giving us buckets.
So I'm not denying they're playing well, but in my opinion, the way both teams are constructed, the Mavs are a little better and a little ready to compete for a championship right now than the Los Angeles Lakers.
I would agree with that as well. And then the other trade that happened after the Pro Bowl, crazy. We were talking about it. Another 3-team deal. Sacramento sending De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio. I did mention them last week. Multi-team trade. And Zach LaVine, he's on the move as well to the Kings. So the Spurs get De'Aaron Fox, Jordan McMillan. Kings get Zach LaVine and 3 first-round picks. They get 3 second-round picks as well. And the Bulls get Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and their own 2025 pick from the Suns, or for the Spurs, excuse me. So that's a nice young 3. I mean, kid, after 1 or 2 years of Wemby, drafting Wembanyama, then you go and get a core 3, not having to give up White as well. I mean, that's a great 3, or Castle for the Spurs. You get Wemby, Fox, and Castle. Outside of probably OKC with SGA, Jameson Williams and Chet, who's probably the best core three in the league for the next 5 years. I mean, this is a great move for the Spurs. And to be honest, I don't doubt we'll see them in the playoffs or maybe conference finals within the next 5 to 6 years. This is a great move for the Spurs.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the better moves I in uh trade trade deadline in recent years, in my opinion, just because you just elevated the Spurs franchise by a couple of years.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox is a perennial All Star. We know what he's able to do at the point guard position. You pair him up with Wemby, who's gonna be a fucking superstar. We already see him in just his second year in the NBA elevate to a certain level. I think both of them could either elevate their games even more now, just because DeAndre Fox, ton of talent in Sacramento. He never had somebody as talented as Wembanyama alongside of him, and same thing with Wemby as well. So I think both these players are gonna benefit from this move. So to me, this is a great move for the San Antonio Spurs because it moves them up. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
this year, probably not going nowhere too crazy. Maybe make the play-in tournament, but for the next couple of years, though, depending what they do this off season, hey, they could get us a vet, maybe like a Bradley Beal or like a PJ Washington, maybe like a Clay. We know we got that long term, but a vet like that who's been there, like a KCP, Jalen Suggs, somebody who's been there. My boy, damn, fuck,
Hmm.
from the Nuggets, but he went to the Pacers. He kept coming off the bench and killing the Lakers and the Heat. Was it Bobby? I forgot his name. But there's multiple pieces out there that you could get veteran wise that you could put the Spurs in that conversation next season or another year from now. So to me, this is honestly one of the best moves we've seen in recent years, just because both of them are real young and it elevated the Spurs into a playoff caliber team much sooner than we anticipated.
Now, do you like Zach LaVine and the Kings? Because they got some work to do. They're a 500 team right now, sitting at the 10th seed, 24, but they got a lot of draft capital, kid. They got 3 first rounders and 3 second rounders as well. And this could be a good fit for Zach.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna trade DeMar DeRozan? Are you gonna build around Zach? Are you gonna build around Sabonis? Are you gonna build around King of Murray? Are you gonna build with Zach and King of Murray, trade away Sabonis, or build around those three? King of Murray, uh, Levine, and Sabonis, trade away uh DeMar DeRozan, because DeMar DeRozan, I think, could be a valuable trade asset if you're looking to move him before the trade deadline. I think they could even add another piece or build or get picks for next year. So
Yeah.
I think the Kings have a lot of moves they could possibly make. It's just what direction they want to go at. I was surprised they traded DeAndre Fox. I would have let go either Rosen or Sabonis, in my opinion. But hey, they wanted to let go De'Aaron Fox. It is what it is. I think De'Aaron Fox gonna say thank you and enjoy his time with Wemby in San Antonio. And it's gonna be interesting what they do in
No state
Sacramento.
tax either.
Yeah, like I said, Sacramento got a ton of pieces. Like you said, a ton of cap. It's just interesting to see. I would either move DeMar DeRozan or Sabonis ahead of this trade deadline.
Yeah, it was a crazy weekend in the association. Thursday is the deadline. I think we're going to see much more trades leading up till Thursday, so we'll be locked and loaded. Keep our eyes peeled for that.
Hey, Jimmy Butler as well, man. Watch out. Jimmy Butler might get moved.
They said steam has kind of died down for the Warriors a little bit on that, so we'll see.
Man, fuck the Warriors. I ain't worried about them.
Hot take, I don't think he gets traded. I think Pat Riley will just say fuck him.
Ben Simmons for Jimmy. Straight up.
Wow. All right, let's go to the not association. We were just there. The Gridiron. Crazy, Miles Garrett, he issued a trade request today, and he issued this nice long quote on his Instagram to Cleveland saying, as like a kid dreaming to go to the NFL, his focus was just making and winning a Super Bowl. And I'm happy for him because he does deserve. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's 29 years old. He's coming off a 14 sack season. He deserves to be put in a position to, be in a position to be on a team that's not as bad as Cleveland. So, reigning defensive player of the year, once out, not really surprised if I'm being honest. I saw it. You texted me. I was like, I kind of could see it coming. We even talked about it when the Browns were bad. We were like, when does this guy want out? He's kind of been loyal. Who would you see him, or because I'm assuming there are going to be a lot of suiters out there calling the Browns. I mean,
if it ain't 30, if it ain't 31 teams calling, fire your GM.
Yeah, literally. But I have a surprise team that I want to say, but I will let you go first because you did text me a team. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a few teams. My first team, Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions have. I'm not saying it's a half, but it'll be nice. You put Myles Garrett, put him aside, Aiden Hutchinson. We saw all the injuries they dealt with this past season. You shore up that defensive line. You can have one of the best defensive lines in all of football if you're able to acquire Myles Garrett. So if I'm the Detroit Lions, you just lost your offensive coordinator, you just lost your defensive coordinator. You make a splash with Myles Garrett. To me, that'll be a damn near a perfect fit because we know Myles wants to go somewhere where he's able to compete for a championship. We saw it on his letter. The goal is not to get to Cleveland to Canton. The goal is to get to Cleveland, win a championship, get to Canton. I'm going to say the Detroit Lions. I highly doubt he goes in division. I think another great fit would be the Baltimore Ravens still, in my opinion. It all depends if the Browns are willing to shop him into a division rival. But I would love to see Myles Garrett compete for a title in that Ravens uniform. And one last one, Dill. You might disagree with me. I'm going to give him a shot. Myles Garrett could honestly set the Washington Commanders defense over the top. We saw Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels go into an NFC championship game in just his first year. It's going to be hard to do so next year. But if you can add arguably the best defensive player in all of football, it'll make it easier to repeat it. So I like Washington. I would say the Eagles still, but realistically, they have a ton of talent on defensive line already, and I'm not sure if they're going to have the cap space for somebody like Myles Garrett.
Yeah, so apparently just reading articles and executives who have been tweeting and whatnot, they said prepare for this not to be a clean breakup between the Browns. The GM already said we have no intention of trading him. We understand his frustration, but we have no business trading him or want to trade him. They say it's going to be a wild few weeks. Interesting. Before I say my team, because I don't think he's going to go for multiple first rounders. Probably a first rounder.
No, I say second round pick.
Maybe even a first and second, or maybe 2 seconds. Maybe throw in a player there. But I've read people saying multiple first rounds. Are you crazy? Have you watched the NFL? They're not ones giving multiple first round picks. I think Myles Garrett is going to be in Canton one day, but he's not going for multiple first round picks.
If he was like 25, 26, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Here's my team. Pair him up on the other side of Max Crosby and the Raiders. Now, I know that they're not in win-now mode, but they have a lot of money. They just signed Chip Kelly as their new offensive coordinator. Oh, I hate to see him go. He just won a national championship. They have a lot of money. They are willing to spend. They just got Pete Carroll. Watch out for the Raiders. Watch out for until he sees the money that they're about to throw at him. Then
he got money. He don't need money.
They got a lot more money. They got a lot more money.
If it's about money, he'll stay in Cleveland.
You laughed at me when I said the Spurs and De'Aaron Fox.
You didn't. You never said.
I said that. Check the tape. I checked the tape. I said Spurs. Check the tape. Check the tape.
I said Magic.
Yeah.
I said Magic. I mean, that would have been great.
I think, yes, obviously they're not in win-now mode. That's evident. They're not going to be in win-now mode for the next few years. But you pair him up. We've already seen their defense wasn't the issue. The problem was the offense.
Yeah, dude, but
you bring in Chip Kelly.
He wants to go in a win now situation, not a rebuild. The Raiders are a rebuild. I love the energy deal, but he wants to go somewhere to contend for a title. I
Yeah.
named you 3 contenders.
Yeah. I love the Lions. I love the
To me,
Lions
that's the
move.
perfect. Or, like I said, another divisional foe who needs. I'm talking about needs a Miles Garrett. This will also put him over the top. I will honestly put him in the championship conversation.
Hmm.
Cincinnati Bengals.
I just don't think, and the reason I don't like the Ravens in that one is I don't think they trade him in conference. I
You
think
know what
he
I mean?
goes
In
to the end of
division.
the regardless, in
Yeah.
division or in conference. Why would you trade him in conference? That
At the end of
doesn't
the day,
make sense.
it's what's best for business. Who's going to give you what you want?
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It's going to be a crazy few weeks. And the other one I did have was Chip Kelly going back to the NFL. I love how Chip Kelly's going from college to the NFL, college back to the NFL. He made it clear he wanted to go back to the NFL. The Raiders felt like it was the move to make. The new money that the Raiders have, like I said, they really came into play here. So I'm happy he's making around $6 million for an offensive coordinator job.
Shit.
That's a lot of money for a coordinator.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Chip Kelly. Hate to see him go because he brought our offense, honestly, to a next level at the Ohio State. So hate to see him go. But do you like this move for the Raiders offense?
Yeah, I think it's definitely an upgrade from what they have. And like you said, it's not the defense that's the issue, it's the offense. So now, do I like Chip Kelly? Yes. Now, who you're gonna pair him with?
Yeah,
Is it gonna
that's the
be a
thing.
veteran? Is it gonna be Kirk Cousins? Is it gonna be Sammy D? Is it gonna be somebody he could build with? Is it a Justin Fields? Is it a Russell Wilson? Who knows? That's what I need to see next. I don't want him to go out there with Aiden O'Connell. I need the Raiders to go out there and make a splash. Kirk Cousins is going to be available. Sammy D is going to be available. Justin Fields is available. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But do I think Chip Kelly is a great offensive mind? Absolutely. But if he doesn't have a capable quarterback,
What
what
good
good?
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you. It all depends on who they get at quarterback and how they decide to build the future for that offense. But I do like Chip Kelly in Vegas as well, pairing him up with the young Pete Carroll. All right, kid, that's all the news I got. We could talk all day with news. Before we get to our plays, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We favor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or an elderberry watching the NBA, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right. Yeah, no NFL talk today. We're going to have a bunch on Friday's episode, and we also have a special episode with CT Bets as well. We're going to be diving into all things Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. But, kid, for today, for all the live listeners here on a Monday, we do have 10 games on the NBA slate. We also have 7 for Tuesday as well. So for Monday, wrap off what you got going on here for Monday slate.
Yeah, big slate on Monday. We only touching a few games. We're not trying to force a lot of
Gotta
things.
save your money for the Super Bowl.
Gotta save your money for the Super Bowl. The plays are for today. It's to build a bankroll for the Super Bowl. So let's get to it. 7 o'clock start. Atlanta Hawks taking on the Detroit Pistons. Hawks been struggling there ever since Jalen Johnson went out with that injury. I think they lost 5-6 straight games. Detroit 1-2 in a row. They hit that little soft spot a couple games ago. Now getting it back going. Give me the Detroit Pistons. It's at 4 now. I caught -3.5. Lay it. Lay the 4.5, whatever it gets to. If it gets to 5.5, maybe that might be a little too much. But I think Detroit cruise to victory here at home. Next game up, Sacramento Kings after the big trade taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota playing better ball now. I like what I've been seeing. Still, I hit the money line as soon as the trade went down, just because we saw what the Mavs looked like against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I have a feeling we're gonna see another blowout. I love the money
Wow.
line yesterday. Give me the -5 with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I wouldn't be surprised if the Kings get blown out today after that devastating trade. Last game for me, 10 o'clock start. Orlando Magic taking on the Golden State Warriors. Don't get me wrong, the Magic's been struggling. They've been struggling. Curtis, where you at? The Magic are struggling. Golden State back to 500. They, on and going, on and going. But give me the dog. Give me the Magic. I think they just step up. They'll make it hard on Steph. They'll play tough defense. I think they pull off the upset, but I'm going to take the +3 in my back pocket for good measures. Give me the Magic +3 on the road.
I love it, kid. And yeah, you'll have plays for Tuesday as well, so just make sure you guys are glued to Elvis's Action app and have his plays posted there. For me, I got not two. I got 3 college plays for you. I am gonna go Alabama A&M and Bethune Cookman over 140.5. Both teams stink defensively. I think we're going to see a lot of points there. Incarnate World and McKinsey. I'm going to go under. McKinsey, 47th ranked defensive team in the country. And they're forcing turnovers on 25% of rate. So, yeah, give me under 142 in that game. And then I'm going to go North Texas and UAB over 137.5. 2 teams outside of the top 250 defensively. Gonna see a lot of points that one. We do have good games though, like Iowa State, Kansas. That should be a really good game. I was really leaning the Jayhawks, but they've screwed me a bunch of times. So I'm kind of leaning off. I'm just gonna enjoy it. I think it's a really good game at 9 o'clock. And it's a late game, but Northern Iowa and Iowa State. That's a really good one. Lean Iowa State plus the 2.5. I mean, I think the wrong team is favored at home. I just think Iowa State is the much better defensive team in Northern Colorado, 262 ranked defensively team in the country. They struggle. So for them to be favored on the road, line kind of stinks. That's why I kind of stayed away from it. But few plays I have there in college. Kid, any last words before we get up out of here? We got 2 big episodes this week.
Yeah, I hope Luka plays tomorrow against the Clippers. I highly doubt it because he's dealing with an injury. But can't wait to see Luka in that Laker uniform for show. And then Dale, let's just hopefully we see another trade or two and Ben Simmons to Miami for Jimmy Butler. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Keep your eyes glued. That is going to do it. We'll be back Wednesday special episode, and then we'll have our Friday episode. But good luck. God bless.